Okay, kiddos, I am making this video for you to um, make sure that you're uploading your extended essay and your TOK essay correctly. So, I know y'all have done this before, but I want to make sure that you've gotten everything straight. So, the first thing you want to look at for your extended essay before you upload is make sure that you have removed all of the identifying information. Make sure that your title page has everything centered horizontally and vertically, so it's its own page. And on that page, you want to have a title, which is like a short phrase, like, testing aspirin, or, you know, flight in Vietnam, whatever, short, followed by your research question that is stated in full. Okay, that could be followed by, it could be followed by a colon, or it could be a separate line, whatever. Make sure that your subject is mentioned, that you have said what subject you're writing in terms of like history, chemistry, whatever, English. Category, this is only relevant if you're writing in language A or B. They have several categories, category 1, 2, and 3. And then also make sure that you've put your word count on that page. Okay? Now, the other thing to check on your extended essay is, do you have a table of contents? And if so, which you should, are the headings on your table of contents labeled throughout the paper? This is especially important for the introduction and conclusion because those are required by IB. So you want to make sure that your introduction and conclusion are labeled. And then also, on your works cited, this is particular to IB, to the extended essay, anything that's cited in the paper needs to be on the works cited. So make sure that you're following that. Okay, so I'm going to go to Meg's EE. Alright, this is her TOK, so hang on. Of course, all of this looks a little different for me, so don't worry if yours looks different. Okay, so I have all of your EEs in this Dropbox, and I'm going to look at Meg's. To see if she has all this stuff. Okay, so notice her first page, her title page is numbered. That's fine. The numbering is weird. So, if you have page 1 on the title page or page 1 starting on the table contents or introduction, don't worry about that too much. But you do want to make sure you're removing all the identifying information. Notice she does have a title. She has Women in Drama, an analysis of the way that playwrights use characters to reflect society. And then that is followed by her research question right here. Okay, then she has a word count, she has English as a subject, and category 2. Okay, so she's in good shape so far. Now, as I go further, table of contents. So we want to make sure that everything on our table of contents is actually in the paper. So introduction, let's see. Introduction is labeled, good. Era of modernism, let's see if that's the next thing on page 4. Yep, it's there. So you want to make sure that your table of contents and your headings match. Okay? The other thing that you want to make sure of is that in your introduction, that your research question is stated in full. So right here is hers. One thing I would suggest is putting it in bold or italics just to make it stand out so there's no question that that's there, because that is judged by IB, is the research question in the introduction. All right, and then as we go to the end, conclusion is there. That's very important. Introduction and conclusion must be labeled. And then you have her works cited, everything of which should be cited in the paper. And then some of you might have an appendix, and that's fine. But it should come after the works cited. Okay, now let's talk about the TOK essay. Alright, so again, you want to make sure all the identifying information is removed from the essay. You also want to make sure that the prescribed title is stated just as it was by IB. I'm going to go ahead and show you that in just a second. Also, you want to make sure you've got page numbers on each one. This one does not have a title page, so you want to make sure your word count is at the end of the paper. And then also, if there is a works cited, that is only as needed, but please be better safe than sorry. You want to make sure that if there's anything that you've consulted, go ahead and cite it, because that's just a way to be safe. So let me show you what I mean by finding the prescribed title. So if you go to Manage Back, and again, my Manage Back looks a little different than yours, because I can see everybody. You can only see yourself. But if I go to, let's go to Meg's. Okay, so if I go in here and she's chosen her prescribed title. So see how it's bulleted like this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are in the same order as they are for IB. So there's a place when you upload that's going to ask you what title did you choose? What number title did you choose? So you want to be able to access this to make sure you know which one. I am not worried about you filling out all this information in terms of like your word count and all of that, because that doesn't go to IB right now. That's just for us. But you do want to, it does ask you to tell what number title you chose. So for her, it's number 4. Okay, do you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So when it asks you what title did you choose, you go to Manage Back and see which number it was, because you want to make sure you're registering for the right title. Okay, now, in terms of the TOK essay, so looking at the prescribed title, page numbers, word count, works cited, we've talked about all that. Now you're going to go to upload both things. So you want to make sure you go to Manage Back, and a lot of you have saved this on your phone. But you want to get your personal code and your PIN, and you want to go to this site, candidates.ibo.org. Some people were trying to go to IBIS. That's the teacher site. You can't get into that. This is the site where you upload work. Make sure you've checked both your essays for all the things I've talked about and save them as the final copy to make sure that you're not uploading the wrong version. Also, make sure you know where that final copy is, where it's saved, so that you can easily access it when you go to upload. So now you're going to go into this site, candidates.ibo.org. You're going to enter your information. Okay, you know how to do that. You've done it for several things. Okay, so you're going to see, once you've uploaded, you'll see something like that. You'll go to My Coursework. And this is where you'll see all the things you can upload. So we've already uploaded the written assignment for English. Now, we want to upload the extended essay for Meg, let's say. So, obviously, I'm not going to upload the right thing, so let's just upload that. Oh, won't let us do a JPEG, so that's good. Alright, so upload. Let's try this. So the big thing that you want to always do is make sure you preview it. That is not the right thing. Alright, so that is not right. I'm going to close that. I'm going to delete it because that is not right. Okay? But you want to always preview it. Make sure it's the right thing. You're going to upload your extended essay. And you're going to upload your Theory of Knowledge essay. Now, right here is where it's asking for the title. So, for Meg, it was Title 4. Here, it's going to ask her for a word count right here. So, that's why it's really important to make sure that you've got that word count on your paper so it's easily accessible. So, let's just say she's at 1512. Okay, so save. And then that's when you would go to submit. It's going to ask you to declare that it's your work and no one else's. And then it's going to ask you to submit again, and I think one more time. But obviously, I don't want to do that because that's not the right thing. Okay, so this is where you want to make sure that you're uploading the right stuff, that you've got everything exactly as you want it, and if you have questions, don't upload. Come see me. And this is for any class. I've done this for several years. Marquita Thomas has done this for several years. And so if you have any questions about your uploads, please see us. But do understand that the supervisor's stuff is also due by March 15th. So let me show you one more thing. So on Meg's worksheet, notice one more thing. Planning in progress form. Okay, so she's entered all of our interactions for the TOK essay, everything we've talked about. Now, y'all can't see this, but after she's entered this, I'm going to go in and I'm going to write my supervisor comments, okay? And then I have to save this. I'm going to export it. So you'll see it comes into a document, kind of like the PPDs look. And my comments will be here. And this is not a predicted score, but this is where I will talk to her about, the things that I think she did well, what she needed to fix or whatever. So, it's very important on both the Viva Voce and the third interaction. Those are grades for y'all in TOK. You want to make sure you've entered that because that has to be entered by your supervisors also on this deadline. That is due by March 15th. So everything for us, teachers, is due by March 9th. That's this Friday. So we need your stuff in ASAP so that we make sure that we're meeting the deadline and that you don't